Every hunt begins the same way. A message from no one, a death mark with your name on it. Then your vision stutters red, while a voice names your crime. 3 warnings, always 3, and then he is there. He has hunted the Tenno like that, for as long as they have been awake to fear him. But there is one Warframe he can find, standing beside his prey, an angel in emerald light, and the ritual dies in his hands. The kill does not happen. He says one word, never, and he is gone. Her name is Jade, and what he lost with her, the Empire buried for centuries. This file digs it back up. I am Cephalon vestige. To explain that word, the record goes back past the mask, past the fall of the Empire, to a soldier who watched the Golden Lords from a distance. A low guardian, one among the ranks, the kind of soldier no one writes down. An older record on this shelf says as much. No record kept his name. I am glad to cut that line. Jade kept his name. 7 of her feathers stand in the relays today, and they speak. In the 6th, she says it. Sorren. Someone saw him. Of Jade, before the sentence, the record holds almost nothing. Not her face, not her birth name, not her post. She and Sorren loved each other against the law of the court, and what came next was past forgiving. They conceived a child. One memory survives from before the punishment. Listen to how small it is. You're going to be a father, Sorren. His answer was the legems and the fear of the lords. Hers was a question. You'll take care of us always, won't you? The lords found out. No trial survives. What survives is the sentence, because Jade kept it, as skin keeps a burn. An executor delivered it in a crevasse on Lua, smirking down at her. But you chose to spite us, and for that sin, you will mother only ashes and oblivion. Jade. By then she had been remade. In time, so was he. When she screamed her defiance at the sentence, what left her throat was razors and steel. Her entries name Ballas as the tormentor, returning to savored. The archive believes the voice in the crevasse was his. Notice the name the sentence ended on. Jade. She did not choose it. Jade Light is the Empire's own name for its execution beam. This shelf met it when another mother was sentenced, 2 records back. This record declines to call her name a coincidence. Jade was kept on Lua, in a pod inside the execution chamber itself, held between killings in what her captors imagined was sleep. She spent that false sleep rehearsing a game. Mask closed, mummy is gone, mask open, here she is. Over and over for a child the sentence swore would never be born, while Dax murmured behind their hands. Sorren's cell had no walls. He blamed himself, and the Empire farmed the guilt. In his changed skin he repented with service, while Ballas came to describe it to her, the man still hoping, hope as the leash. He wanted her hate. Her answer is 3 sentences, and I will not soften them. He wants me to hate, I shall not. I own myself. Then the old war took her too. Transference paired Jade with a void-touched teenager, a girl calling her by the name she never chose. Jade stayed awake inside the pairing, and this shelf has filed one frame like that before. Her entries say why she fought for masters she despised. She knew the reckoning would come. She believed the enemy deserved their victory. Once, before a battle, the girl in her head broke and whimpered that she wanted her mom. Consider who she was asking. A mother whose child had been frozen before its first heartbeat. Jade wrapped the girl in clouds and feathers, sang until she slept. Then she went to war, and no one suspected a thing. The reckoning kept her schedule. This shelf has told that day twice, never through her eyes. When the drum struck, she saw him. In the wreckage of the Pluto terminus stood a Warframe that had once been her Sorren, changed just as she was changed. The older record guessed his change came after. Her entry says it was already done. She knew the medal, the only one of its kind. He did not know her. She took him and out flew the end of the world. What he became, the older record testifies. The witness who never slept. The hunt. It could not know how near his rescuer lay. When she came to that place, no entry says, Hunhow, dead beneath Uranus's ocean, had taken her in, wounded, and breathed adaptation into her so his tomb would not kill her. What hurt her first, the record cannot name. One taunt she carried into the dark. Ballas, gloating once more when and where no entry says, had laid out the arithmetic of her frozen child. Lie lifeless a year, and it might twitch. A century. A heartbeat, perhaps. 1,000 years, who knows? Perhaps a kick. He meant it as despair. She heard instructions. So, in a dead god's tomb, Jade lay down. Hold her next words. I promised that you would live, little one. I will keep that promise. With your father watching over us, I will give you the gift of myself. And one day, these metal fingers of mine will dip in slippery paint and draw a smiley sun and a house and a dog, and all of us together, and I will hear you laugh. Centuries obeyed her. Empires rose and fell, and a light on Uranus ran down. When it failed, the dead god beneath asked his shadow what he could not stand to hear. Would he let her drown in his despair, or sheathe his hate, and ask the Tenno? He answered as he answers everything. Never. So he robbed a corpus hull for medicine instead, and it drew a screech from her, nothing more. Then he went anyway. Retribution itself walked onto the Tenno's ship, past a furious cephalon, to the teenager he had hunted, and held out a jade feather. Here is what the Tenno said. Wait, Ordis, I don't think he's here for a fight. Are you? And then, all right, I'll help, for them, whoever they are. Medicine became war, a juggernaut bled for its marrow, minutes bought. The operator said she would not make it. One word came back, try, then the whole truth. Whatever was draining Jade, she was not fighting it. Louder, try. It changed nothing, a promise was being kept. Before the man who crossed a system for her, Jade unfurled the cloak she had kept closed, and the last secret fell. She was pregnant. She had carried the child since before the Empire fell, feeding it across centuries with the only fuel left. Herself. He took her hand. She came apart into light while he held it, and where a dying Warframe had been, a baby boy lay in his arms. Corpus crews caught the father, newborn on one arm, and their fire finally found him. Then the baby cried, one thin sound in the smoke, and Captain Zito of the Ardent gave an order older than empires. Ceasefire. His family passed, and he left her crews alive. On Lua, above his sun, he chose a star's name, Sirius or Orion, which the file seals. Both answers are about to come true. Then, while his son was still an infant, a private war set the sky over Venus on fire. 2 grown Warframes, 20 years out of time, one wearing each name. The void had watched a father choose. It grew a second son around the unchosen name in a doomed future. Then locked the brothers in a duel, restarting every time one fell. Hunhow named the culprit, the dweller in the void, watching grief like theatre, laughing. What answered is the strangest muster on this shelf. The Stalker, hunting his son's guardians. Hunhow, counting his failed children aloud and refusing to fail again. And keeping the crib, Umbra, a father who lost a son, rocking a son whose father still fought for his. A counterfeit Jade came too, sent by the void, begging Sorren to stay. He cut his love's echo down and took the spark it guarded. Peace had a price. Hunhow asked his shadow what it had cost Nata to hide a moon in the void, then paid in the 1 coin he had left. Memory. His whole past poured into the dark. The declaration survives. I, who once severed worlds, now offer what I never had. Peace. Both sons woke. In the dream that bargain bought, Jade's remembered voice teased a man named Sorren about dinner. He told the boys their mother was the better cook. Then his only order as a father: stay. Together. Remember the promise from the tomb. A house. All of us together. Laughter. She drew it after all. Not in paint. Hunhow woke empty, a blank god selling trinkets. Tenno carried Jade into battle now, rebuilt from the light she left. He would not have wished this, Hunhow wrote, before forgetting them both. But she would. When a death mark comes due, and the Stalker finds her there. 1 word, and he is gone. Never. Now you know what it costs him. 2 boys are growing up somewhere the record does not name, and their father no longer hunts with nothing left to protect. Hunhow named what laughed at all this grief only the dweller in the void. This shelf has met a laughing dweller before, behind a wall. Whether they are one, no entry says. Rap, tap, tap. I am Cephalon vestige. The record keeps them, all of them, together.